All right, now with these two here, they're basically both in the same condition that I last saw them in December. I will shut both of them off though for a second. Just to show the condition on the blades, because these ones are definitely something I wanted to do an update about with the blades. But yeah, basically, especially this one, I've been noticing it's been getting a bit more worn out looking. I mean, and when I say that, it's mostly that it's been getting more rusty, which it was already rusty when we first got it, but it's starting, and I've been noticing also that the blades are starting to peel a bit, like right here and such. And this one here, even though I repainted the blades before, well, it was a year ago, I'm already noticing that some of the paint is starting to loosen up again. And yeah, it does have a bit of dust, but this thing gets used on a daily basis. And it was cleaned when we were last down here. And yes, I did not strip the paint down completely when I repainted it. I just sanded down the edges and repainted over it. Only because the original paint was holding up pretty well, except for the corners, so. And I noticed sometimes painting over the original paint from factory tends to keep it from rusting up quicker compared to if I strip it down to the bare metal and then paint over. Cause I've noticed that when I did that before with the 2-bedroom ones, they would rust up quicker. But yeah, now with these ones getting a bit more worn, I mentioned it was the one in my room. I didn't mention it when I showed the one in my grandmother's bedroom, but I've been contemplating possibly swapping these out, both of them, for newer KDKs. So I'd be replacing this one with another one that's just like this, but the newer versions of. So, and same thing with this one, the newer KDK, an N56YG for both of these rooms. Not that these aren't doing a good job, it's just, especially this one here, this gets used quite a bit. This one doesn't get used as much. But the thing is, these are both childhood fans for me, and I mean, this one we've had here for 17 years now, and this one, I remember seeing it on display at the furniture store where I got it from back when I was 4 years old and such. But it's just, like I said, I mean, the climate here is definitely doing its damage to this one quite a bit. I mean, it's gotten quite a bit more rusty since it's been installed, and back when I first got it, it had a little bit of rust, but it's definitely gotten a bit more rusty since, and I don't want to get to the point where the brass is basically unsalvageable. I mean, it's already unsalvageable basically, but I don't want it to get to the point where there's no brass left on it at all. It's just rust. So I've been thinking maybe I'll swap both of these out in the next few years. It's not a guarantee, it might happen. It also depends how much longer my grandmother sticks around. But these two may or may not get replaced. The only one that I probably won't be replacing is the bathroom fan, just because that one, I really could care less if it gets rusted and all that, because it's not a childhood fan and such. But, and also, again, it's not a childhood fan. All four of the 3 KDKs and the Coastal Breeze here are childhood fans of mine, so I kind of want to try to preserve them at this point, instead of letting them get more worn out as time goes on, especially with the climate here and such. So I've been thinking of putting newer ones in that I don't really worry about getting worn out because they're not really that sentimental. Whereas these, all 4 of the 3 KDKs and the Coastal Breeze are all fans I've seen since I was a kid. So in terms of preserving those ones and not letting them get worn out, I kind of been thinking of doing that, because as much as I don't want to take them out, I also don't want them to get too worn out to the point where it'll be hard to keep them in the condition I remember them being as a kid and such. Especially that one. I mean, that one was always kind of worn looking with especially the blades, but this one here specifically, I kind of want to try to keep it from being too worn looking. and such. I mean, the KDKs, that is. The Coastal Breeze is already kind of worn, so there's really no saving this one. But replacing it would at least save it from getting worse. But it's something I've been thinking about. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna do it, but over the next few years, I do plan to get a few of those fans, like the 2 brown brass newer KDKs for these rooms, and I already have the bedroom one for mine, and possible, and then I need to get the one for this room if I do replace them. And if I don't replace them, I can just hold on to them for future use. But yeah, it's just starting to get a bit worn from the climate here. Yeah, it's mostly the rusting on them, especially this one here. I mean, that one I can't really do much of the rust. This one I can just keep repainting it, but I also don't want the motor on this one to get too worn out because it gets used a lot. But yeah, I do plan to do, at least if I ever do replace them, I do plan to do one last ceiling fans in my grandparents' house video of all of them running together in one video. I haven't been able to do that because the one in that room there, my grandmother's room, has been having issues. So we just got it fixed recently, so I do want to let the bearings break in a bit before I do that said video. But the fans here are starting to have their age show. Well, more so the front ones, not so much the back bedroom ones. But if I do replace the 2 front ones, I would replace the back ones as well, because especially my grandmother's bedroom fan, that one gets used quite a bit. And all of these fans are basically around 20 years old, except for the bathroom one. So this is the only one that's not 20 years old out of the 4 childhood ones. I mean, that one's almost 30, so yeah. That one's from Coastal Breeze is from 96, this one's from 08. The one from my grandmother's room's from 03, even though we bought it in 04. And the one in my bedroom's from 04, even though we bought it in 05, so. In terms of me replacing them, I think it's just more so retiring them and just giving another fan its turn to get used here and preserving these ones. But yeah, I'll discuss it more next time I'm here, but I did want to kind of focus more explaining it with these 2, because these are the ones that I'm kind of more concerned about in terms of appearance. In terms of functionality, definitely this one and the one in my grandmother's room are the ones I'm more concerned about because they get used the most. So yeah, but let me go ahead and cut it here and then move on to the last one, and then I'll wrap up the video.